Namaste and good evening. Thank you for joining me from wherever you are. I'm Sapna and I'm delighted to be your host for this evening's fireside conversation. If you're tuning into a Vicharmanthan for the first time this evening, then I hope it won't be your last. Because here at Vicharmanthan, every 2 to 3 weeks, we explore the toughest challenges facing British society. And we do this through a dharmic lens. We invite speakers who are experts in their fields and they help us to churn these thoughts and ideas. So tonight's topic is titled, Is My Mother Tongue Worth Preserving? As we know, languages play a crucial role in our daily lives. Through language, we convey our thoughts and emotions to one another. But language also lies at the heart of each individual's unique identity and cultural history. Despite this, research says we are losing languages. Why is this? Should we preserve our mother tongues? Now is the time to look at how we are building our future generations and what roles, if any, the mother tongues must play. And to help us churn this very important topic, it gives me great pleasure to invite our speaker on today's platform, Dr. Ram Vaidya. Originally from Nagpur, Maharashtra, and currently based in Leicester. Ramji is currently the International Joint Coordinator for Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh, and some of you might know this as Shaka. Ramji completed his master's in Sanskrit, and then he went on to do his PhD in integral humanism, Jainism, and Vedanta. Ramji has also delivered lectures in Sanskrit at Nagpur University, and he also runs spoken Sanskrit classes here in the UK. So for those of you who have just tuned in, tonight's 45-minute fireside on Is My Mother Tongue Worth Preserving will consist of a 25-minute discussion between Ramji and I, followed by a 15-minute question and answer round. And that's your chance to get involved. Audience, it's your opportunity to ask Ramji anything you wish to about this topic. So please don't be shy. Please keep the comment section on your screens nice and busy. Without further ado, Ramji, namaste, a very warm welcome to our platform. How are you?
Namaste, Kem Cho.
Majama. Lovely. Thank you, Ramji. I'm keen to get started, so shall we?
Yes, of course.
Excellent.
Nice to meet you, all of you, basically, and all the Vicharmanthan team to choose this amazing topic.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ramji. I'm excited to get started. So, Ramji, for our opening remarks, can you tell our audience, firstly, what is the definition of mother tongue? And secondly, in your opinion, is the mother tongue important? And tell us why you think what you think.
Yes, thank you, Sapnaji. I think the mother tongue, the language, is basically the faculty or a sense of speech we're born with. Means I carefully say that we're born with such type of sense of speech. Means we learn the language before our birth. That is, I have always feel the concept of the definition of the mother tongue. Because we are, as a human being, we are so many factors we have. Like we have a body organs, we have sense organs, we have senses, we have mind, intellect. We're born with memory. We're born with some I-ness or inner ego. These all are part of our personality. And they all develop simultaneously together. Similarly, the language is also one of the part in our development. And therefore, the father, mother, parents, they manifested us. They have given the form to us. It's called physical form. It's called as a physical manifestation. The surrounding, what we born with, they can give them emotional expressions. And because of that, we have an emotional manifestation. Similarly, is the language also. It is a manifestation which is a lingual. So lingual manifestation also, one of the manifestation is very important. So similarly, like physical manifestation, emotional, the language manifestation is very important. The mother tongue is a manifestation in that sense. There's a natural diversity in all of us, in the entire humanity. We all not one uniformly made. And therefore, we have some variety of choices. And there should be some variety of choices. Similarly, the languages also should be of multiple variety. With mother tongue, we can maintain this variety or this diversity. For example, my mother tongue is Marathi, your mother tongue might be is Gujarati or Punjabi, Tamil, different languages. But within our mother tongue as well, we have so many varieties, and we need to preserve all those varieties. Then only we can preserve the diversity. This integrated nature of personality, it is so natural that the diversity should be sustained. And therefore, anything which is a natural is always a sustainable. Language is to be well preserved by speaking only. We cannot preserve the language in libraries with the books. And that's why it is so necessary to speak a language of our own language. When we adopt other variety, we don't necessarily give up the previous one. Like whenever we have some material possessions, maybe home, maybe some clothes, the shoes, when you buy something new, we do not give up the old one. Even the friends, when we just connect with the new relations, we do not give up the old one. And that's why more we have, richer we become. Similarly, we can learn many other languages, but our original mother tongue, we should not give up. We should not forget it. I was just referring to one of the interpreter workshop. They said that everyone should speak in the mother tongue in any negotiations in a business deal as well, because of the right tone and a degree of formality we can maintain. Because of our mother tongue, we cannot make any compromises and message won't be watered down. Our position, we can position our message correctly, expressed the nuances, the viewpoints very nicely, and can say that when I speak in my mother tongue, I sound smarter. Listener also will concentrate on your point, not your accent or the grammar, the grammatical or pronunciation error. And that's why the speaking in the mother tongue is always good. Even today, if I would have spoken in the mother tongue, would have been much comfortable for me than the language which I adopted to speak today. That's why anything which is natural to be sustained, and that's why mother tongue to be sustained.
Sure. Well, I could keep listening to you. so Ramji, in your opening remarks, you mentioned quite a few points there, quite some profound thoughts. You said that the mother tongue, so just to clarify for our audience the definition of mother tongue, you said it's already there before our birth.
Yes.
Yeah. So if there's a child who has a mother that speaks one language, father from a different background, are we saying that child has now two mother tongues?
Why not? So therefore, any bilingual parents also, he or she can develop two languages, the two mother tongues. Mother tongue need not be a one tongue, but only it has to be natural tongue. Naturally, the person has manifested that tongue with. That is called mother tongue. It can be parent tongue in the future where we can think of.
Sure. Okay. So I'm sure we've got a lot of audience watching us tonight. So audience, if you're watching, if you have a mother tongue, pop it into the comment section. So Ramji, you mentioned that mother tongue is part of our development as well. Yeah. Can you elaborate on what you mean by that?
So our development is always, we call as the integrated development, where our body, the mind, the intellect, and our soul also get developed. But mainly the body and intellect as Atma, and we develop these shells around us. And therefore, whenever we want any development, we think of the development of the intellect and the mind.
Okay.
Body organs are the medium to develop those things, because the very I see something, I capture those perception, and those perceptions goes through senses in the mind. And because of the mind, that whatever object is given the name towards that one. For example, if I say the computer, the mind tells my eyes that this is a computer. But how does the mind know about the computer? Because mind has stored this thing in the language, in the memory. And therefore, there where this intellect helps.
Sure.
And whenever you think of this development, it is called as a cognitive development. And Piaget, one of the great person who developed these cognitive development processes, he also mentioned that the language helps.
Sure.
And that's why when you have a natural language for development, the development of mind and intellect can happen naturally.
Okay.
One of the person mentioned, who is an educationalist of child development, he said that, what is the core of the child development? He asked the questions to audience. Many people say walking, cleaning, walking, running. Even some people say the potty training also one of the important part of the child development. But he said the communication is the most important part of the child development. And that's why for communication, it has to be a naturally grown language, not injected language, but when you grow with that language, and that is the mother tongue.
Okay, so you're saying this development of the intellect and the mind going hand in hand, it should be natural. So are you saying that we can't do this by teaching French or German or Polish or a second language to the child? Does it have to be the mother tongue in order to get this cognitive development?
It's amazing what you call teaching. The teaching, another word called imparting. We impart. Similar word called inject. Mm-hmm. It comes from outside. But I'm using word called manifest. The manifestation is from the within. Like a tree is manifested from the seed, is within.
Okay.
The web is developed through the spider from the within. The ideas are developed from within. Yeah. The genius is always done to the within. So when the manifestation happens, it has to be the language which is natural. You can learn many other languages for communicating. Yeah. So we can learn so many languages, but these are the coming as a decorations of our body.
Right.
As ornaments for the body. Because of that, we become very smart. We look beautiful. But those languages, those decorations cannot create the body.
Sure, I really like that.
The creation of the body is done through the manifestation of the one germ.
Yeah.
The first germ.
Yeah.
And therefore, they can make our nose beautiful, but they cannot create the nose. Other languages. Similarly, the teaching is amazing. Imparting is brilliant. Those are very important, very useful for many purposes. But mother tongue is a manifestation, like formation of our body.
Absolutely. I love that colorful example. So you're saying that it's innate. Our mother tongue is already there. It's laid the foundations of your identity. And all the other languages we then learn on top is just a bonus. Yeah. Okay. Audience, do you agree with what Ramji is saying, or do you have slightly different views? Pop your comments in the chat section. So Ramji, we're living in the UK, and there's British-born children here who are speaking in English at school, at work. You know, all their friends, their family speaking in English. Grandparents are now speaking in English. So by teaching them their mother tongue, whatever that mother tongue may be, are we going to cause an identity crisis or some confusion for the child, for the person?
If you want to integrate with the society, we need to keep the identity. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we assimilate. And assimilation doesn't make any sense. Because of assimilation, we cannot preserve anything. Okay. Because assimilation, small example, I already heard that. When the goat enters in the stomach of the tiger, it's called assimilation. So nothing stays of the goat DNA in the tiger. But when we add the sugar in the milk, the entire milk becomes sugary or sweet. So sugar is always keeping its identity. Then it can integrate with the society.
Okay.
That's why if a mother tongue, if you preserve, and no need to teach it, you manifest it. You just speak it. Because that mother tongue is with that child from before the birth. Because mother and father, they are thinking about that language. And mother specifically. And that's why when that boy is born with that one, that tongue, only we need to preserve it. That's it.
Okay.
By teaching them different languages or not giving the exposure of that mother tongue, I think we are shutting down, we're covering that tongue, which is already inside it. And therefore, that specific tongue has to be there. That notion has to be there. That cannot be omitted. Only we need to enhanced and nourished.
Lovely. I'm loving these analogies, Ramji. So just to bring it to life a little bit more about the sugar and the milk. So do you mean that the glass of milk perhaps could be English as the dominant language, and the sugar, the spoon of sugar is your mother tongue, Gujarati, Marathi, whichever. So by mixing the sugar in the milk, you're enriching and you're enhancing the flavors.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Our geography, our environment, and sugar means what we are.
Okay. So you're saying is, why separate the identity? We should just be infusing it and be, yeah, okay, sure. I'm with you. That's very interesting. Okay. So Ramji, if I may get a little bit personal now, we've heard that you can speak 7 languages. Okay.
Yes.
Can you quickly list them out before I move on to my question?
My mother tongue is Marathi. Mm-hmm. Hindi, normally we know. I brought up in the atmosphere with Bengali were there. So Bengali I speak from very my childhood. Yeah. Then I came to at school. Then I studied Sanskrit, how to speak.
Okay,
then I came to UK. And UK, you will be surprised because I'm in Leicester. So first I learned Gujarati, then I learned English, how to speak well.
English is your 6th language?
The 6th language. I learned how to speak basically here only in UK. I knew some words when I came to UK, some sentences also, but not the fluently at all. But the rest of our friends, they taught me how to speak in the language. Then I'm learning Punjabi, I can pick up. Now I'm learning French a little bit, but I'm getting there. And now Tamil is one of the bucket list.
So that's 8 languages, and you're
thinking
of a 9th
one. 7 is okay now. With Punjabi, you can add up.
Okay, I'm really impressed. I'm in envy of how many languages you can speak. So
it's natural, Swapna, I can tell you, because more languages you speak, you become more analytical and you become more friendly as well.
Sure.
Because you speak the language of anyone. That's the first thing to connect anyone. And that's why it is so nice to, because I also connected with the Gujarati people because I speak in Gujarati.
Yeah.
That's why.
And I'm sure they really appreciate the effort that you make to connect with them in their mother tongue. There's that familiarity there, isn't there? Sure. So I was going to ask you, what unique experiences have you had, because you can speak 7 to 8 languages? What doors has this opened for you?
Whenever I go to any country, like for example, I go to Kenya. So first thing I learned that how to know the hello, namaste, all those things with the language. Therefore, I could travel there well because I travel around the world, many places. Then another thing, I start reading the language. And at least when I leave that country, I should know the 10 to 15 sentences about that language. Amazing thing is I can tell you one thing, that how are you? What's your name? Hello, namaste, thank you, sorry. And then one more thing you should learn when you want to meet that. Oh, the weather is beautiful and the food is amazing. Mm-hmm. If these 4 things you learn it, the people become close to you. One more thing I learned from in beginning, if you learn the songs of that language, the people appreciate it. Yeah. So these were my experiences about the language. But I feel that I should know the maximum languages of the world. One thing I can tell you, my personal example, I studied most of my life in my mother tongue. My medium of instruction was mother tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that thing, it was easy for me to pick up English.
Okay.
I could play nicely with English words because my mother tongue base is very good, very
Right.
solid.
Right.
And that's the experience I got. And to learn Gujarati as well, to learn Bengali, now French as well, it's easy because my foundation of mother tongue is great.
Absolutely. So that mother tongue has really served you well. It's acted as a catalyst so that you can learn other languages easily. Sure. So that's really impressive. Now, we've spoken about why the mother tongue is important for all the reasons that you've stated about the identity and the foundation that gets laid and how it enhances you to pick up other languages, etc. But from my research, I found that every 3.5 months, we are losing one language.
True.
Yeah. And language death really exists. So there's about 7,000 languages in the world, and science has predicted that in the next 100 years, these 7,000 languages will be cut down by 50%. Yeah, quite a shocking number. So just a couple of points from you, Ramji. Why do you think this is happening? Why are we at risk of losing the mother tongue?
I think it started because of the colonization mostly. It wasn't the old history about the extinguishing the languages. Languages were changed. The languages changed. They adopted new words from the different languages. But when you adopt new words, you don't kill yourself. You enhance yourself. Yeah. But when this killing instinct came after colonizations, then the languages started extinguishing. Because when the colonization came, one also part came, it's called mental slavery.
Right.
It's called as a colonization of the mind. So superiority and inferiority, this concept entered into the mind, of the social mind.
Okay.
If I speak a certain language, I'm a superior, and vis-a-vis other way. This notion is really killing, and these all languages are getting extinguished. Mm-hmm. So we need to get rid of this notion. Personally, I also had this notion when I came in this country. But this country taught me one amazing thing, that, Ram, you speak in your own language.
Okay.
My friends used to say that you don't need to borrow our language to express your feelings. You express yourself in mother tongue. That helped me to adopt English.
Nice.
Learn English.
Sure.
And therefore this colonization, mind colonization, superiority and inferiority complex, of these are the causes of this result. Sure. Of the extinguishing of the languages, according to me.
Okay, so you're saying that championing your own mother tongue allowed you to adapt and learn English. Okay. Do you think there's some laziness in our society to pass our mother tongue on?
Naturally, 99% people, society always follows. They do not think. They don't lead it. 1% people, they lead. So those are 99% people, they're not lazy. They follow.
Okay.
We only need 1% people who can lead properly.
Mm-hmm.
If you can create the band of these 1% people, and they will lead, and they will bring into the fashion the language, the mother tongue, the notion of mother tongue, then the 99% people, they will follow.
They will follow. Yeah.
They're not lazy. They only follow. They follow anything.
Okay.
So we need to create the fashion. And what the fashion I use basically, because fashion is a trend. It's something new thing. Yeah. And if you create the fashion of mother tongue, people will follow it. Yeah. One of my friend, they decided that in the home they will speak in the mother tongue or language. Now, because of what happened, that child is very smarter. And the mother also mentioned to the child's nursery that she will speak in the mother tongue. You understand? I will give you some tips about my mother tongue, but no need to enforce your language to my child because she's still in the playgroup. So
Absolutely.
that sort of some efforts have to be put in place to make the mother tongue, any mother tongue in priority.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really striking point. So creating that fashion and making it cool, and the sheep.
That's the word.
People will follow. Yeah, people will follow. So audience, our question and answer round is about 2 minutes away. Those of you who don't know your mother tongue, how does this make you feel? Do you feel like a sheep? Like what Ramji is saying. Those who do know your mother tongue, what experiences have you had? Do you have any questions? Pop them in the comment section. I'm about 2 minutes away. Ramji, just to finish off our discussion, so we've said that language death exists due to colonization, this inferiority, superiority complex, etc. So could you give our audience 3 points on how we can preserve our mother tongue and really bring it to life? What can people do on a daily basis to preserve it and set the trend, the fashion?
In this UK, we are at home morning and evening time. Daytime, you are outside.
Yeah.
Just think of 2 times. When you get up, put some radio on or some TV on, YouTube on your mother tongue. Just listen the songs. In the evening, when you come, decide the dining rule is the mother tongue rule. You can put some nice box here, like a piggy box. If anybody will speak the other than mother tongue, put the 1 penny in that box. And that penny should be go buying. This money should go to buy the books for this mother tongue. Make it as a very live, cool, live, very jolly as well, and find out some new words.
Okay.
One of the house I went in Germany, and they said that they keep some posters and stickers every month on their different doors. I asked them, what are these things? They said, these are the words of the month. So in this month, these words we need to know.
Yeah, yeah.
And therefore, this some morning and evening routine, if you just keep for mother tongue, daytime is yours.
Absolutely. What about those parents that might struggle to motivate their children? I know lots of people that are trying to take their child to, say, Gujarati class, but the child isn't very motivated, they hate going. How would you say that parents can overcome this?
No child will like the school, you know that. We also used to be like that. We push them. Classes, Gujarati classes, all those are okay. They're just supportive, not the life. The life breath is home. No need to motivate anyone, I suppose. Okay. You just create atmosphere. Motivation will come automatically.
Okay, lovely. That's, well, we're not going to...
Morning and evening routine.
Okay.
Our mother tongue, daytime for the society. If these 2 things we adopt, I think you will see the drastic change in the society in the future.
So making that routine, like brushing your teeth, for example, or having your breakfast and dinner, just make it part of your daily routine.
Just listen to our mother tongue music, some nursery rhymes, some music, something in the morning time when you leave the home. So those will definitely will be there. In the night time, speak in mother tongue. You will dream in mother tongue then.
Okay, lovely. So we're just moving on to our question and answer round, Ramji. I'm going to start reading through these. If we can try and get through these swiftly. We've got a question here from Vishal Vora. He says, can Dr. Ram please give some context for the mature diaspora? Our language is now English.
So, read the question again. Mature what?
Can Dr. Ramji please give some context for the mature diaspora? Could you give some context?
Our language is mature means adult, basically, you mean. Our language is English.
Yes.
Yes, we have, you guys basically born in this country, you are born with this language, wonderful, fine. But I would suggest that just learn the language of your parents. If it is one language, fine, otherwise 2 or either of them. Mm-hmm. With that one, we will enhance our personality as well. And though we are thinking, you guys are thinking in English because you brought up into the atmosphere, don't worry. Just adopt new languages, new language as a something, preserving something for the past. When you preserve the past, then we can go for future. So at least new generation, our kids might go back to the roots. When the roots are lost, nothing wrong in searching the roots. And that's why to search the roots, though we are we're thinking in English, we say our English language, nothing wrong in going back to the roots of our own thing. Even not only Indian, anyone living in this country, the Jewish community did similar thing. They lost their languages for thousands of the years. But when they went back to the Israel, they reinvented, discovered the Hebrew language. And that's why it became a pride of their identity.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, no, and I want this fireside to be applicable to all mother tongues. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So thank you, Vishal, for your question. I hope that Ramji's answered your question. We've got the next question from Sagar, and he is asking, why do we need to speak our mother tongue if everyone around us is speaking in English? I know we've touched on this earlier on, but if you could give your thoughts, Ramji.
For utility, we need not. For utility purpose, for business purpose, for work for purpose, we need not, But a mother tongue doesn't come in that category. Okay. Mother tongue is come into the category of a mountain, the rivers, the plants, the body, anything which is the natural. Which is a natural thing should keep as natural. Okay. That's why it may not be as a utility. Seriously, we don't need trees on the road. We don't need rivers in the nature, because those things are not going to give money to us. But in spite of those things, we need it because these are natural. Okay. Similarly, even the environment is not there. We should speak it because it doesn't come in a category of the utility.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's what you said in response to Vishal's question about going back to your roots, and there's nothing wrong in that. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ramji. So we've got a question from Kate Horner. She's asking, when we are teaching children extra languages, should we focus on reading and writing, or should we focus on first speaking and listening? Very interesting question.
There's a flow of any language. See, first look at perception, or first speak, then you read it. First listen, then you speak, then you read, then you write. Okay. In Sanskrit, we call it as a Shravanam, Bhashanam, Pathanam, Lekhanam.
Okay.
Therefore, we also learn our language similar way. This is a tree. Okay. We listen the tree, then we saw the tree, then they went to the memory. And then somebody asked you, where is the tree? We showed the tree. Where is your nose? Let me show. This is my nose. This is my eyes. Similarly, when you listen, then you speak, then later on it will come, much later, the reading and writing.
Okay, okay. So I hope that answers Kate's question. She's actually asked another one as well, Ramji. We are losing languages rapidly, but are we also gradually creating any new languages? So how do you say this is a new language now? So I think what she's saying is we're losing languages, but are we actually gaining languages as well?
In a lighter note, I can say that C++ is a new language now. SAP is a new language. The Python is a new language. Lighter note, the computer we speak in those languages. Yes, we gather new languages, we create new languages, but we should not be at the cost of the losing any language.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in adopting new technology, new languages, creating new words. Downloading was it's a new word. Download is a new word. Bandwidth was a new word. It wasn't before. But now we can use that, my bandwidth, because this new word entered. So we can add, we can create new words, but not at the cost of losing any old language or words.
Sure. So when I said in my stats earlier, there's about 7,000 languages in the world, we should see that actually increases it shouldn't be plateaued or reduced. Yeah. Okay. Right. Thank you, Ramji. We've got a question here from Abhilasha. She's asking, should we be promoting teaching in our mother tongue in schools rather than English in order to help children better think about and understand ideas?
In India, Bharat now recently, the government has developed this thing that the primary education should be in the mother tongue. The same policy is in this country as well. All our European countries, they teach every primary education in the mother tongue, their own mother tongue.
Right.
So nothing wrong in that one. So when we are a diaspora here, coming from different countries, we should have, I feel, the choice of language in the primary education.
Okay.
To nursery. So it may create some different atmosphere in the primary school that all the kids are learning in their own different languages. And when they will grow, they can all have an amazing, the full garden of the languages in those schools.
Okay.
That will be the great system in the future for this multilingual world.
Absolutely. That would be really ideal, wouldn't it? And then that would help the individual to diversify and appreciate the other roots and cultures and people around them.
It's a really good idea, Abhilasha gave. Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. No, good question, Abhilasha. And maybe like you, Ramji, then the kids in the future will know 7, 8 languages.
Why not?
Yeah, sure. Okay. This is from Arun Taylor. He's asking, there is such an emphasis to learn a foreign language in a secondary school. Do you think primary schools could do more to help children preserve their mother tongues and create a more bilingual ethos?
I feel that that all the languages can be taught in the primary school, even the foreign language as well. I know here in this country, I don't know about everyone, but people, they hate foreign language. Even if the French or Spanish or German language, they do not like it. Because by the time their own cognitive development already happened.
Yeah.
And that's very difficult to pick up the language. And that's why n number of languages can be taught when they're very, very young, when their formative age is there, because everything is formative.
Absolutely.
And that's where there's a language formation can also happen at similar time.
Sure. I hear what you're saying there, Ramji. When I was just doing a bit of reading, I saw that, the prime age to learn a language is between birth and 6 years of age. And in our schools, now they're learning a second language at about 8 years old. So, did you just kind of say that 8 is maybe a bit too late for the cognitive development?
And one more thing of the way to teach, like one of the question came, do you teach them to read and write?
Yeah.
They will hate the language.
Yeah.
If you just have a fun with the language, have a dance with the language, sing with the language, they will love it.
Sure.
And that's why the way you teach it also very important.
Absolutely.
So we have Sanskrit we teach. I learned a Sanskrit very boring way, the reading and writing first, but I couldn't speak Sanskrit that time.
Okay.
And the guy who was my teacher of Sanskrit speaking, he never learned the Sanskrit in grammar way. And that's why we need to kill the language, like a Latin now. Nobody speaks. And people learn the language Latin. Similarly, to preserve the language, we need to speak first. So we need to teach how to speak only.
Sure. So maybe at an earlier age, and what you said, the learning style, both of those really matter and be more inspirational. Okay. Right. We've got a question here from Nakul Rajani. He says, if I do not know my mother tongue, can I still understand my culture? Very interesting question.
Yes, why not? Culture is there. What does the culture means? Culture means refinement. Refinement means whenever I am in the raw form, then I get refined. That's called culture.
Okay.
To get refinement, then we need some heritage. And for heritage, we need some history. We need to know the history.
Okay.
So refinement can happen without a language, without a mother tongue. But to understand that refinement, when we want to refer the heritage, then we need the language. For example, we have one word called samskar. That samskar cannot be translated in English. Might be some other mannerism, some words in English also we cannot translate into other languages. So therefore, when you have a refinement, understand the Bharatiya Hindu culture, then those heritage have to be referred. And the history have to be referred, books have to be referred. And that's why language is more important.
Sure.
But to become a cultural or cultured, we don't need any language. So because culture means refinement. Therefore, we can understand, but completely fully to understand our heritage, which is the root of our culture, language is helpful.
Okay, that's very new to me, because I don't think that's a commonly held view that culture means refinement. So that was quite enlightening there, what you've just said. I think normally when people think culture, we think, maybe the literature, the dance, the food, the festivals, but you just simply,
These are mediums. These are mediums for refinement.
Okay.
Because we need some to refine. For example, there's a carbon, and they become refined to become a diamond.
Right.
That to process of that becoming a diamond was there, but becoming a diamond, for that one, all those things, dances, literature, festivals, the values are necessary.
Right, lovely, very profound. I like that, refinement. Thank you, Ramji. We've got another question from Braver. We've got just a couple of minutes left, so I'd like to get through at least 2 more questions. Questions are coming through thick and fast, so thank you, audience, for your engagement. Braver says, what if people don't want to connect to their roots or see it as irrelevant? How do you persuade them?
No need to persuade. You follow. They will follow later on. There will be people like that. They don't want to go back the roots. Fine. There are 3 types of people in the society. Some want to do good, some want to do bad, some just observe. So we are the people, the Vochar Manthan and this type of forum, the people, they would like to create something good in the society.
Sure.
Bring something good in the society. For that, our efforts are there. There might be some people, but they will follow.
Absolutely.
See, the definition of fashion, recently I heard somewhere that I'm in your tribe, don't kill me. Means that they will follow. If you create that cool atmosphere about the language, people will follow.
Okay.
So only few people should try for that.
Absolutely. No, you summarize that so simply. That's okay. Here we go. Karthik says, I talk to my children in their mother tongue. This also helps the children to talk to their grandparents. But what else needs to be done? I like that question. What else needs to be done, Ramji?
By Karthik, basically, by some guys. Amazingly, because the mother tongue can connect with the back to the roots, past tense, as well as the grandparents. Main thing is how to develop the drawings, poems in the mother tongue. How to create that genius and ideas to be brought in the mother tongue. Those will be the amazing thing. Talking to them, reading with them the old poetry, old literature in the mother tongue. Those will definitely enhance. Otherwise, they will speak very superficially, but won't go deeper into the language. That's why everybody should try to read and some poetry and the great literature of that language.
Okay, that's refreshing. So I hope, Garthik, that helps you, and I hope you can start to find some interesting literature for your children. Time has flown. I've just been told that's the end of our question and answer round. I've still got so many more questions I wish I could have got through. So, but Ramji, time for your closing remarks now. So I'm sure as part of our audience tonight, we've had grandparents watching, new parents, parents to be, and second or third generation born British people with various backgrounds. What's the one final thing you would like to leave them on with the importance of mother tongue?
We feel that, we know that in our scripture it is mentioned in our Shastra that when we make a sound, we speak something, it is only the gross form of a sound. But sound goes with the 3 stages. we call it as a para, pashyanti, madhyama, and vaikhari. Para means the germ of that idea where we want to say something. Mm-hmm. That is somewhere in the inner. Then pashyanti comes. It's called as they start forming the idea into images. Because it sees. Pashyanti means to see. Then madhyama comes. And madhyama means somewhere in the middle where you form some words. And then the vaikhari comes. The sound comes through our throat and the mouth using the tongue. So when this para happens, which is a complete original thing, when that para, it is our mother tongue, because we're born with that tongue, that para, that germ, and vaikhari, which is a gross language, gross way of manifestation. If these are too disjointed, then our ideas cannot come forward. Mm-hmm. And that's why, by preserving mother tongue, scientifically, we are connecting with these 4 stages of our speech, the sound. And that's why my first opening statement was, the language we're born with has to be preserved, has to be spoken, because that's a natural. We cannot create our people, our personality as a bonsai. We should let our personality to grow as a huge tree. And that's why uncover that covering of the other languages and speak in mother tongue. Namaste.
Wow, Namaste Ramji. Thank you. What a lovely note to end on. So thank you. This discussion's really been captivating. I've really enjoyed listening to you, learning from you, hearing all your analogies and colourful examples. And whilst you were talking, Ramji, you reminded me of a quote which I really love, and that is, "A tree without roots is just a piece of wood." And, when you were saying things about letting yourself grow to be this big tree, you were saying about the foundations that are already formed when you're not even born yet, the not being afraid to go and look for your cultural roots. All this kind of made me think of that quote, and that ties everything nicely together. So whether you're a parent or someone's son or daughter, I hope that you've gained a deeper insight from tonight's discussion. I hope you feel more inspired to go away and learn or practice your mother tongue fluently and know why you are doing so. Try and incorporate Ramji's advice about making it into a routine, morning and night. And for those of you whose questions I've not been able to answer, apologies for that. But I urge you to take these questions to your friends and family and have your very own Vichar Manthans around the dinner table. Ramji, a special thanks to you for taking the time out with me this evening and exploring this topic. It's been an honor to have you on our platform. And audience, you've been a pleasure as always. Your engagement was phenomenal, so thank you for joining Ramji and I on our platform this evening. And thank you to our Vichar Manthan well-wishers. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to do these events, so thank you once again. And if anybody out there in the audience feels inspired or wants to get involved or spend time with us investing in ideas that matter, head over to our website, which is vicharmanthan.org. You can also click in the link in the descriptions section below in the comments box. There's also a link in there on how to join our book clubs. We've got several book clubs across the country. And finally, this does not end here. We will be back in 3 weeks with our next fireside, which you should see on our screens shortly. The fireside is titled, it's just coming up now. Why are we so influenced by advertising? This will be on Saturday, the 21st of November at 7 p.m. So I hope to see you tuning in then, as many of you as possible. I know I will. I hope you have a good day or evening wherever you are. Good night, stay safe, and namaste.